I am recording this to send to members who are not present and take it away.
Oh, hello everybody there too. I yeah, I don't know. Yeah, this facha is not good for recording a lot of times. So but I appreciate you all letting me in here to discuss the candidacy for NEA director this year. So I'm Kevin Hickerson and I am running for NEA director, and I have been in VEA for 21 years. And uh, let me just say, I start my story like this, which is that when I was hired in Fairfax County after my first year teaching in Spotsylvania, um, I went to the Fairfax Education Association table, signed up immediately, and they said, "Hey, when you get to your building, go and talk to the building rep and introduce yourself." So I was like, "Sure." So I went in and I found the building rep, and I talked with him, and he was like, "Hey, Kevin, I'm nice to meet you. I'm going to be no longer the building rep. So, would you mind being the building rep?" And like literally handed me the notebook at that point. And so I took the notebook and I was like, I just literally walked into this building. But okay, sure. I'll be the building rep of Chantilly High School. And so from that point forward, that started my journey. And ever since, within 3 years, I was on the FEA board. I think they were just like, yes, we've got new people, wanting to join up and be on the board. And then, worked my way through various things that, all the positions in Fairfax, ended up being on the VEA board twice. And, actually served on the executive committee for 4 years. And currently I serve in a role as called the National Council of Urban Education Associations, NCUEA. I'm the East Region Director. And so a lot of my contacts now are, national. And what a lot of people don't know is that I was elected in 2020 for NEA Director. And unfortunately for Virginia, um, the membership couldn't sustain it. We dropped below 40,000 members, and my position was removed. And I never got to serve well, take that back. I got to serve for like 3 weeks. And I even went to the first meeting thinking that, maybe beyond miracle, we got above 40,000. We ultimately didn't. And anyway, so I waited for a couple years to when an open seat would arrive, and I decided to run for it. And so that's what I'm doing right now. And to just briefly talk about the campaign and platform, I see Virginia right now in an interesting place, the VEA. We have a lot of people who are yearning for strong leadership in terms of wanting to push and fight for our educators and for our children. And I think there's a lot of opportunity for that, but we have a lot of folks who are disengaged in the union and who are not in the union. I think the number that I ran is that we have 23 or 24% union members in the state. And that means we have somewhere around 76 to 77% of the people that are involved in public education that have not joined the VEA. And that's a travesty. And so we need to find an aggressive plan that makes that happen. And that's what I want to do. In Fairfax, when I was president, I went to 140 out of the 200 work sites in Fairfax to show the face of the union to folks and say, I'm here. What do you need? And that's what I plan to do in Virginia. I plan to, first of all, serve the full 3 years. I owe you, you deserve nothing less, is what I would say. I don't have any pretensions to run for anything else. I am here for Virginia. And then the second thing is that I plan to visit 50 locals, and that would include Chesterfield. I would love to get down to Chesterfield, help sign, I know that y'all are working on collective bargaining, but helping to get signatures or helping to stand in solidarity, wearing red, whatever it is at a school board meeting. That's what it's going to take. It's going to take an NEA director that wants to go around the state and engage with locals that have been ignored for years, to kind of plant the seeds again, water it, and let things grow. We have leaders all over the place, but they're not going to join a union that has ignored them or where they don't feel valued. And so we need to do lots of different engagements with our with our new educators, with our BIPOC educators, to grow new leaders within the union. And that's the short of it. And I talked for a long time. So if there's any questions, oh, I see Christina's eyes. If there's any, if there are any questions, you fire away. Anything about the campaign, about me, about my ideas, please let me know.
Anybody have any questions for Kevin? Anybody? Yes, Todd.
Support legislation or having BEA support legislation that would seek to end the right to work and allow all public sector employees to collectively bargain, kind of get rid of this kind of Byzantine structure that we have to work through for collective bargaining.
Sure. Yes, 100%, absolutely, without question, and right to work and get us, I know my friends in Southwest wouldn't like this necessarily, but we also need to get rid of the strike law as well. We need to be able to add teeth to the collective bargaining as the step 100 out of many steps to get to a strike, right? But, we need to be able to have the ability to use our muscle as a union, as an organized force. I think in terms of right to work, or whatever nomenclature we want to give it, that's an awful name for it. But if for anything, for us to be able to have the argument that I see all the time, we're a right to work state. Why should I join the union? Getting rid of that would end that like discussion immediately, because whatever, we're not a right to work state anymore. So get off your ass and join a union. Sorry, excuse my language. But that's how intense I am in my building. I talk to people straight up saying you should belong to a union. I have one of the higher densities in Fairfax too. I get lots of, I signed up 20 people so far this year in my building.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Sky, you have Stack.
Hi, I was just wondering if you had any sort of plans for including instructional assistants or bus drivers, everything else to bring along with that.
Sure. No, when I say educators, I mean all educators, right? And so when I was in Fairfax as the president, one of the first things I did was I went to the bus depots. No president had been to the bus depots in 7 years. And so I went to the bus depots and I went to the cafeteria workers. I joined the meetings of the cafeteria workers to be able to talk with them. One of the things I did was Fairfax County had no, when we have snow days, they had no snow days for cafeteria workers. They would just lose a day of pay. So I started Fairfax County on the road of getting 3 days and then getting 6. And then that was the end of my presidency. I tried to get more, but I got us to 6. I think it's still 6 in this county. Yeah, my custodial staff, I know by name. I try to, everything I do is in that lens. The last thing I did as FEA president was to introduce the 20 for 20, which is antiquated now because $20 is not going to cut it, right? But it was $20 for 2020 to get us our workers who need it the most, but are given the least, a living wage. Because I believe, I worked in an organization called Progressive Maryland before I became a teacher. I believe, and the slogan basically was that the government should not subsidize poverty. So, living wages is my thing when it comes to our most needy staff.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Kevin? Wonderful. Well, thank you for joining us, Kevin. We appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, not a problem. And if there's any questions that I could ever answer, and Christine knows me for many years now, but if there's anything that you all ever need, you can email me at Hickerson for NEA at gmail.com or onevirginiakh@gmail.com. Either one gets me, and she can give you my phone number. I love talking to people, as you can see. So if you have ideas I need to listen to, I'm willing to listen. I will be willing to raise them up. It's my job.